All right. Third lightning round question. What's the word? Give me one word that describes the future of high volume transaction management in SaaS.
Quality.
Quality. Okay. Find quality versus accuracy. What's the distinction you draw?
So, accuracy is, I'd like to think sometimes it's about the sheer numbers, right? The numbers, you didn't have if we take it down a notch, right? In the accounting world, if you have a currency mistake, then the number is correct in the original transaction, but then it translates into a different number. Quality means that, in accounting can mean a lot of things. For example, you put it in the right account, you put in the right timing, you apply the right accounting rule to that. So even if you have the number right, being able to put it in the right location at the right time with the right treatment, it's all about quality, and also document it. So that's kind of, accounting is a lot of work. It's not just a sheer number. So that's kind of how I think about it.
That's really interesting. I know in some of the M&A transactions I've done, one of the things we look for when you hire a forensic accountant to come in and look at the target's books is what they call quality of earnings. And I never thought about that before, but it really is. I guess in my head, I'd always associated quality and accuracy almost being synonymous, but I think there's a more robust components or dimensions to the idea of quality that you were just describing, which is really just much more powerful. So thank you. I think that really is a great, and the challenge is in this high volume transaction management, right? One of the things about SaaS is like where we deal with usage-based billing, all the AI first tools have an enormous amount of data that they're processing on. You're not just invoicing on quarterly basis or annually basis. You're not even invoicing on monthly basis. You could be invoicing on daily basis. And so
I can actually tell you that for some of our customers, what we'd like to think that we would transition them from a monthly close or monthly reconciliation to like a weekly or even daily. Because sometimes, you want to do that. And if things go south, you want to be able to remediate it on time. Catch it on time, right? It hits so many metrics like your revenue, ARR, things like that. So quality is,
And I think just building on that a little bit in terms of the AI companies, when they're having a usage-based model, is their customers want to know what's happening as well. They want to know if they're dialing up and going to get hit with a huge cost. And so if they're not able to, through like a billing platform or some sort of real-time visualization, understand what's happening, they may come back to you at the end of the month and say, wait, I don't want to pay this. This isn't what wasn't what I was expecting. And I think one of the things CFOs hate is variability, is the unknown of what the expenses are going to be. So the more we move into this value-based pricing, this value-based exchange, the more important it is to have quality, but also immediacy, real-time insights.
Can I tell you one quick story?
Sure,
I don't know if
please.
you saw that, but I'm sure it will be interesting to the listeners. So 3 months ago, a really unfortunate event. Macy's are about to do their earnings release.
Right.
If many of our listeners saw that, then they had a whole fiasco around freight accruals. Now, I'd like to think that the finance team at Macy's is a top tier, and the CFO is a great guy, and corporate controller, chief accounting officer. To me, what was staggering is that what they reported was that it was a result of a single person. So one weak link at a certain point became like a fiasco to the entire organization. Now, as a CFO, I'm sure Macy's has like hundreds of people in its finance organization. You can't be responsible for everyone, but you do have today the ability to monitor all your data end to end and maybe avoid some of the issues like that.
The funny thing, I don't think I mentioned this, but the actual COO and CFO of Macy's currently is a section mate of mine from business school, a guy named Adrian Mitchell. One of the smartest people I know, super high integrity to your point, one of the kindest people I know. And to your point is you're not able to oversee everybody at a large organization like that. I think I was in the Navy for a bunch of years, and I think about the captain of the ship. And if the ship runs aground because some lookout wasn't paying attention or they made a mistake and the helmsman turned starboard versus port and they ran into something, guess what? The captain's the one that gets, the chain of command.
But if I want to use this cyber analogies, which we're using a lot of times, right? As a CISO, you're responsible to make the company be almost invulnerable to the largest extent, right? And they expect, but how do you do that? You do that with automation, with system, with monitoring. In finance, that notion still doesn't exist. So the ability to automate and monitor it's what can help you do that, as opposed to just rely on the good work of people. Actually, I would tell you, by the way, that at Amazon, they published that story about 7 months ago that they actually created that system for themselves, for their own use that monitors all their entire financial data for anomalies, discrepancies, and so on.
Well, I think it's going to be the future. Everyone's going to have these monitoring systems, and so congratulations for being out front on that.